Okay, hello, good morning. Sorry, I was writing something and I got totally out of context. Let's see, where should we start today? Yes, let's see here. So what we did last time, we created like a GitHub connection to we created a repo on GitHub for the app. Then I got this comment about trying to log in, but for some reason I could not. I guess you tried to log in directly through the iframe, and that doesn't work because of Firebase and iframes. But I have an idea to make sure it's more obvious that doesn't work. And then open it in full screen. There were no errors in the console, and the verifier assertion request return a good response with my info. But didn't the app work still, or did it work? I'll try that. Also, it doesn't work in Firefox at all. I get a bunch of course errors. Yeah, it's the same thing. Let's try to open it in Firefox as well. The first thing I wanted to do is when you get to the login screen, we can actually check. Let's link this sandbox first so that we can contribute. Let's see. So what I wanted to do is, let's see, where should we have this check? Basically, in the app, if you are on, how do we do this? It should be auth. We could just check it right here. Or we can actually make, okay, let's do this the way I would do it, like properly. So what we're going to do is we're going to check if we're actually in an iframe. And if we're in an iframe, we're going to introduce a new state, which is like an invalid app environment state. Where we'll kind of, and this will only happen if the app actually runs in an iframe, which is like, it's not supposed to do that, but it will help with contributions so people understand better what's required to actually do the login. It's really sad that Firebase auth doesn't work in an iframe. But yeah, it's for security reasons, so I guess that's more important. So what I typically do when I talk to browser APIs, I have this effect called the browser. And what it does is, let's see, is iframe, for example. And then I would do, how do you, it's like parent window or something. Just check if running in iframe. How to load inside an iframe, Windows self, okay. Let's copy paste. Cool. Oh, yes, good. So now we have that effect. So now we can, in our, let's see, in our on auth changed, let's go to that one. We can rather do here, we can say if effects browser is iframe. I think we can check it here because it, of course, yeah. Because now it, I wonder if I already here get an error from. Maybe I should fix this as well. Yes, anyways, so what we're going to do here, we are going to transition to a new state, which is called state invalid env. That's a nice one. What's it complaining about? Oh. And then we have to add invalid env, and you can't really move anywhere here. So if you're in invalid env, you are basically stuck. Invalid env. What the hell are you complaining about? Oh, sorry. State. Oh, that's my caps lock. state. Okay, so we have that new state now. So we'll transition into auth transition into invalid n, and then we'll return from that. So now in our auth, we can check if, we can do our matches thing here instead. Matches. Oops. If state matches invalid n, we can return. Yeah, we can use a screen container here as well. Screen container. And we're going to say you cannot authenticate when the app is running in an iframe. Please open the app in a tab, and then you can return and refresh the iframe. Which is kind of weird. Like you can still authenticate in an iframe given that you're authenticated, which I find a little bit peculiar. But anyways, let's see what happens here. By the way, you can Command Shift R. Oh, yes, of course. Command Shift R to refresh the preview. You try to transition. Yeah, of course. But it's not about. This is a really nice warning. I really like that. So if we're authenticating, we can actually move into invalid and invalid page. Where did that come from? Oh, sorry. That was some of the first stuff we. Oh yeah, of course. This shouldn't be inside the auth. This should be inside. Sorry, this shouldn't be here. This should be in our app. Else if state auth matches invalid n. Why is it complaining? Oh, do I have a typo here somewhere? Oh, you know, these kind of errors, I really hate them. Oh, sorry. It's when you can't see it in the syntax when you look at like when you insert some code and then that code errors and you think there's something wrong in the code you inserted, but then it's the context of the code you inserted. Like there's an else here. But we should probably put this up here with the authentication part. Yes, but that's nice. Now we show that. So that should help. So let's try this now. So I can't authenticate here, but if I open the window and see what's happening now, log in with my account. And now I'm logged in. That works. And when if I go back here and refresh now. Oh. That's annoying. Oh, sorry. It's only, yeah. This doesn't work because I have to, like now we say this no matter. If we don't have a user, that's when we do it. If user else, yeah, that's the way it should be. So if we don't get a user when we authenticate, then we check if it's an iframe, because if we don't have a user, it means we're not authenticated, which means we have to do the thing. Okay, so but this is really interesting. No matter, like what you also can do. So if I open here, I open this app, and then we'll do hello world, I'm home. And if I like do something to this thing now, hello world, I am hello world. If we change that, it says hello world, and it does that also here. So you can actually, if you have two screens, you can develop by having Codesandbox in kind of full screen, and then you have your app in a separate tab. And this is not a very known feature. What's also a little bit confusing discovering this is that you still have the iframe there, even though you open in a new window, which I also think is rather confusing. We also got this feedback that someone wanted the ability to like start Codesandbox, where it automatically kind of opened the preview in a new window or a new tab. I don't think that's technically possible because it's like a protection in the browser that when you load up a page, like it requires a user interaction. It's kind of to prevent. I remember in the old days you had these websites, some of your bad friends sent to you, and you open it, and then it crashed your machine because it constantly popped up with Windows. Yeah, and maybe you had an even worse friend, which I had, that changed my like homepage to like a porn site, and then I was helping the father of my girlfriend at the time building a website, and he came over and we were going to look at it, and I opened my browser and it was like really, yeah, it was embarrassing. Anyways, but this is nice. I'm going to think about this, how we can make this better, because this is a really good feature, especially when you're on two screens. Anyways, let's see. What was I supposed to do now? Oh, I completely lost my context now. I guess we fixed it. And now we want to test with Firefox, see what's happening with Firefox. I think so. Yeah. Let's see. 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 Let me sign in here first. Oh. Was that my password? Yes. Let's see if I'm getting a code here. There we go. 957 907. Don't store that stuff. Okay, that's perfectly okay. Now we're getting our message here. Let me try to open it in a new window. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, let's see what happens. Oh, do I have to do that here as well? Oh shit. Try another way. On the phone. Yeah. Let's get a confirmation code, just like the other one. 33450. Okay, so yeah, so this works. Okay, the reason I think it doesn't work, and I have no idea how Firebase is going to solve this. I think it's a third-party cookie issue. So in a couple of years, Chrome doesn't allow third-party cookies by default. I have no idea how these, like Google and Facebook and all these, are going to deal with that. but it basically means that you get blocked, and especially if you run like incognito, and so I think that's the default now in Chrome. If you run incognito, it automatically turns off third-party cookies. Well, I guess it doesn't track any cookies. But yeah, so I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah. So I guess I can't get any further with that, but what we can try to do now is to see, okay, so I have my changes here. That's nice. And I'll have to insert a detect iframe. So I'm going to, yes, I can choose if I just commit directly to the master branch, or so I'll just do that for now. Detect iframe, so let's try to commit that. Oh, bad credentials. This is super interesting. So we got our first error. That's really weird. Bad credentials? Bad credentials. That's interesting. Okay, so that's something for me to look into. It's so annoying. Like this, as I mentioned, this GitHub implementation is so insanely complex, and there's no good way to test these things. Like, how do you test for bad credentials? Like, you can test that. What do you do when you get bad credentials? Which is what, like, as you can see, we give a proper error message. But like, oh, I lost my authentication. That's interesting. Was that because, was that because I logged into Firefox? Maybe that's the thing. Like, I logged into Firefox on GitHub, and then I lost my like token here, which means when I tried to commit, it wasn't able to do that. Okay, for now, I'm going to call this like an edge case, because we actually did the right thing here. It was just up to me to reason about why it happened. But yeah, it must, let's see if it works now. That's my conclusion. Detect iframe. Commit directly. And now we're also going to go to GitHub to actually see if it actually updated this correctly. Because as I mentioned, we have some issues where people are like getting bad commits and stuff. But oh, I think I lost my connection there for a second. Anyways, the most difficult part of doing support is to actually produce or reproduce the issue. The good thing about Codesandbox doing support is that it's typically developers that reports the issue, so they know like what it takes to actually solve an issue and how important reproducibility is. But I worked on many other projects doing support as well, and it can be really difficult to explain why it's so important to create these reproducible steps. And that is why it's a real benefit to have things like, so for example, in Codesandbox, we are able to, we track everything. So all the actions because it's running on Overmind. So all the actions, like we have this listener, we listen to the events in Overmind, and we use a service called Sentry or something, where you create breadcrumbs. So constantly when you work in Codesandbox, we are kind of building up these breadcrumbs of all the actions and what data you pass to those actions. So we kind of build, breadcrumbs. And then if an error happens, we send like the 10 or 20 last breadcrumbs so that we actually get that context. And thinking about this now, it would be, so what would kind of like be ideal is, you know what? We talked about this yesterday, how we should do support better. So if we actually did, this is interesting. So if we actually, instead of people sending an email, they actually send a form, like a problem form, we're actually able to use those breadcrumbs because the breadcrumbs are tied to an actual error, and it's not always an error for the user, like an explicit error that we use in Sentry. It's just that, okay, they did some steps, something unpredictable happened, and they want to report it, and then we can we should implement that, I think. Yes. Anyways, sorry, I'm going way off here. But yes, so we actually got back to this thing, and we were supposed to implement. So the question is, what is our next step? Is it to show the current week, or is it to plan, like edit the current week, or is it to plan the next week? I would suggest we go ahead and edit the current week. So maybe we are able to, let's see here. On the home page, we're supposed to have like 2 squares here and then something down here. But now we only have this hello world, so we have to create some new UI stuff. So what we need is like content style div, which display flex. So we need like one container for going down. Like we need rows, I guess, content row and then content column. Yes, and both of them are flex, where content row is flex direction. Well, this is kind of weird, because I think of a row as, okay, now I'm inserting a row. No, sorry. How will this work? No, so content, let's just call it content. God damn it. Yeah, no, we need a row. We need 3 elements here. That's crazy. Yeah, so we don't really need this column thing. We just need content, which is display flex. I'm so bad at this. Which is flex direction column. So there we have our 2 main divs. But we also want these to like take up the full screen. So I guess we can flex both of them. Okay, let's just try this. So we have the content here, and then we want like 2 content rows. Yeah, and we want both of them to flex as much as possible, like in the height. Let's see if this works. Content row, content row. Yeah, we should probably, hey, oh, yeah, but they're not taking up the full size, are they? How do we do that? Do I have to like make this one 100%? Yeah, that's good. That's what I want. And then I actually want, I guess, content cell, which should also be flex 1. So we have like 1 content cell here, 1 content cell there. Hey, oh, but shouldn't width, should this be width 100%? Oh, now we're getting there. Nice. Nice. And then this one should just be a content cell. We just want 1 there. Blip. Cool. Yes. Cool. So up here we are going to have like the edit current week, plan next week, and then we have like the current week display down here. If I had my phone, I would show you again, but yeah. Cool. Yeah, we have a couple of minutes. Maybe we could try to like find the icon. Didn't we? Yeah, we're using icons from React Icons, aren't we? So if I import, like we have our FA plus. What if we do they have like an FA calendar? Yeah, they do. So let's try adding that. We probably need to style it a little bit. Yeah. And we want to center it. And I guess all these, yeah, I think we want all these content cells to be placed in like a center. So align items center, justify content center. Does that do anything? Oh, display flex. Ooh, nice. And then we want our calendar icon to be much larger. So we're going to say calendar icon is a styled FA calendar, where we say, I think it's based on font size, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, yeah, we can make it even bigger. Well, now we have to kind of, how does this, can I use rems here? I don't know. Maybe I should use some EM or something. I have no idea. Why is this complaining? Oh, crap. This is, god damn it. This is a stitches error. I need to iterate on the API. I'm actually working quite a lot on stitches currently, which is why I've not been doing Overmind that much, because you'll see. But one of the things I want to do last there, when the API is settled, is to do another round on the typing. The typing of stitches has been even more challenging than the typing of Overmind, I think. This is kind of annoying. Anyways, okay, we need some text in here as well, but now we need to like make this another component. So we might need to start splitting up. So we have like a home folder with an index being the home, and then we have other components representing these different cells and stuff. Yeah, but I think that's kind of, this is okay for now. I'm not going to commit this because it's like we're not done with it. But let's continue on this. Let's give it a name so we don't forget it. Yeah, what's week planner dev branch or something. Cool. Week planner dev branch. Yes, awesome. Thanks for following along. Tomorrow we'll get into, I guess we'll get into, yeah, finishing this page. We'll refactor into a home folder. We'll probably get started on editing a week, which is going to be nice. We have some silly backlog items, so maybe the first thing we need to do is be able to delete them. Or actually you can't delete them, you archive them. So that might be the first thing. And we want this swiping thing. So we need to find a component for that. Anyways, have an awesome day and we'll talk more tomorrow. Bye bye.